Alright, here I got a really good battle against Gr8astard from the Smogon Wi-Fi thing. So my previous opponents from that Smogon Wi-Fi Battle Finder thing have been kind of noobish. But as you can see, this guy packs some big threats. As soon as I seen his team, I was like, oh my god, I'm either going to get wrecked or this is going to be a hella good battle. And it was a good battle. So I'm just going to lead with the Rotom because it's scarfed and I could kind of scout what he wants to do. I'm assuming he's going to lead with his own Rotom, which at the time I assumed it was scarfed as well. So I was kind of counting on losing the speed tie the first turn and predicting his Landorus, assuming he'd predict me to go for the Volt Switch, because I could kind of assume based on his team that he kind of knows what he's doing. So I was kind of hoping I'd lose the speed tie, then he'd Volt Switch, go out to his Landorus, and I'm already predicting, which I usually don't do, but even if he does, if I lose the speed tie, then whatever, I could just go to T-Tar as he goes out to his Latios. So it turns out he's not scarfed, he's actually a defensive variant. So my plan kind of fails. Doesn't really work out too badly though, since I'm able to see it's toxic, and usually I like to switch in Latias into Rotoms. So now that I know he got toxic, I'm pretty sure he's gonna go for it again, assuming I'm gonna go to my Latias. And here I'm gonna just go ahead and say I get a crit, and look how much HP he has. I am adamant, choice banded. That's how much HP he has, and that's how much damage I should have done. So the crit probably maybe didn't matter, but whatever, what happens happens. And yeah, that kind of sucks for him, but I do end up getting a crit. Max attack, adamant, choice band. Horse is not playing games. So right there I kind of got rid of his scissor counter and or check, and that's kind of gonna come into play later on in the battle. So he goes to his Landorus. I'm thinking he might be scarfed since his Rotom wasn't scarfed, but anyway, I can't risk him going for the Earthquake, predicting me to stay in. So I'm just going to go into Skarmory, which should be able to take any hit, barring a random ass HP Fire, which actually wouldn't be too random because HP Fire is pretty good. So he goes for the sub. I know he's a Smackdown set now, so I'm just going to go for the Whirlwind. Whirlwind him out to Latios, which I kind of didn't want since, you know, obviously Skarm can't stay in here. So I'm going to go into my T-Tar, but he predicts that very nicely, and he goes into his horse, aka Terrakion. And everybody knows at this point of the metagame, Terrakion is a fucking threat. That shit is so fucking strong. Look at how much this close combat does to my Skarm. This is a fucking Skarmory. But whatever. I assumed I'd be able to take another one, but he's Life Orb. I was really hoping he wasn't banded, because banded Terrakion 2-hit KO Skarm really easily. But he's Life Orb, so I was hoping I'd take another one, and I don't, so that kind of sucks for me. But now I'm able to bring my Scizor in, and since I got rid of his Rotom, his team is kind of weak to Scizor now, because he really doesn't have too much to take on Scizor besides his own Scizor. And predicting his switch, I'm going to go for the Swords Dance. And as you can tell by my HP stat, I do run quite a bit of speed investment. I'm not sure if he ran the same amount of EVs that I do, but I'm able to outspeed him and kill him off easily with the +2 Life Orb superpower. So now he's going to go into his Landorus, because that's his best bet to take a +1 Bullet Punch. So I probably might be able to kill him, but I really can't risk him because he still has his horse alive, and I definitely need my Scizor to be able to check that horse, or else you know, it's just gonna fucking tear holes into my team. So I'm gonna go into Rotom knowing he's probably not gonna predict the switch. He really can't risk that since his team is so weak to my Scizor now that his Rotom is gone. So I'm gonna go into Rotom predicting his Earthquake. He does go for it, and I'm gonna go for the HP Ice knowing he really doesn't have too much to take it. I knew he has T-Tar, but he probably wasn't going to go to T-Tar since the Hydro Pump is kind of obvious. But I was assuming he'd go into Latios, which kind of paid off for me since now his Latios is around 49% HP. So here, since he predicted my T-Tar the last turn, I'm going to just go for another HP Ice and get off a little bit of damage on this Terrakion. So hopefully my Latias, we'll be able to do a good amount with Dragon Pulse, even though I don't run any special attack EVs on this thing. I was kind of hoping it'd do a little bit more after the defense drops, but Stone Edge misses here, so I guess I got kind of lucky there also, but whatever. I don't really need BlakBlastoise too much here, since it's kind of just bait for his T-Tar to come in. So I'll explain this shit later on. So I predicted his switch to Tyranitar, and I went for the Roar, kind of hoping he'd go back into his Terrakion, but that doesn't really happen. And it was kind of a waste of a move now that I think about it, since now his Landorus is able to gain a turn of leftovers, and he's just going to go back out to his T-Tar anyway, since now he knows I'm a bulky set, and BlakBlastoise is not going to be able to touch T-Tar at all. So here I have a decision to make. I know the crunch is coming, but he could also predict my Scizor and go for the Fire Blast, and he could also predict my Terrakion and go for Superpower. He could also predict my T-Tar and go for Superpower. So at the end, I decided T-Tar is probably the most useless shit on my team. So I'm just going to go to T-Tar, and hopefully he doesn't Superpower. He goes for the Crunch, gets a crit, which doesn't end up mattering since I'm able to live his Superpower because I packed the Chople Berry. So I'm able to get Stealth Rock up. I don't have Superpower on my own T-Tar, so whatever. I probably wasn't going to use it anyway, since I could just let my own Tyranitar die as I do here, and then I'd be able to bring in my horse. And he doesn't really have anything to take a close combat. Nothing likes to take a close combat from a Choice Bandit horse. That shit just does so much to everything. So yeah, I'm just gonna bring in horse, close combat his Tyranitar. Like I said, he doesn't have anything left that wants to take a close combat, so he's just gonna leave it in here to die. So the reason I said the miss on BlakBlastoise didn't matter is because I still had my Scizor, and he really doesn't have anything that wants to take a bullet punch. Everything on his team is going to get 1-hit KO'd at this point, except his Landorus, but that's going to get easily 2-hit KO'd, so he can't really bring it in. But whatever. I just leave my horse in here to die. Now I'm going to go into my BlakBlastoise, assuming he's either Specs or Scarf, and probably Scarf because he really didn't have any other Scarfers on his team, so whatever. He's choiced, I'm pretty sure about that, and worst case scenario, it's a speed tie. So he decides to switch out, which tells me he's probably choiced Specs or maybe choiced Scarf. So he wins the speed tie or is Scarfed, either or. I'm just going to let BlakBlastoise die. He doesn't have any other options but to kill me, and I still got Scizor left, so I'm going to bring it in here and bullet punch that thing. And as soon as that guy dies, he's going to bring in Landorus and get bullet punched also. So yeah, this was a really good game. The crit kind of changed shit a little, but it was a good game nonetheless. And the crit probably didn't matter, but who knows. Anyway, judging by this damage, I probably would have been able to kill him that other time when I had +1, but I really just didn't want to risk that. So yeah, he's gonna be able to kill off my Scizor with the Earthquake because I don't run too much HP, and I got Rotom left, which is able to kill him off with a Scarf HP Ice. So that was a really good game. One of the best battles I've had on Wi-Fi in like forever. So comment, rate, all that shit. I'm out.